Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebuild the Forest. Today we have our second video getting the community garden ready to go. Before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe so that you can keep up to date with what we have going on. And also, if you would like to help out with the community garden, we have a link to an Amazon wish list down below with things that we are needing that if you feel like you want to, you could send to us, and we really appreciate that. We already had one of my girlfriend's friends, Maddie, send us a shovel, so shout out to Maddie for that. We really appreciate it. And with that, let's get into it. In today's video, I will be clearing off the asphalt, getting rid of some of that grass growing through, and also some of that dirt before I end up laying down the weed mat and mulch. I thought about it a little, and I don't know if I necessarily had to do this step. I probably could have just put weed mat down since it's asphalt, but I wanted to get as much of that grass and also some of the loose asphalt out as possible before putting down the weed mat. Hopefully that prevents some of the weeds from underneath popping through, even though eventually there will be weeds on top of the weed mat that we will have to keep control of. Like I said in the last video, the best thing to do probably would have been to get some big toys in here and rip out the asphalt, but we just don't have those type of resources, and the reality is Mother Nature is already kind of doing it for us. You'll see right here that there were actually some pretty big chunks of asphalt already loose that I could move, and also I obviously started this video out getting rid of some of the weeds and grass growing through, so Earth is already pushing through the asphalt and recycling it. Through more time, of just leaving it alone, we could probably get rid of a lot more of this asphalt naturally without the use of any machines, really. So today, I thought that as you watch me clear off some of this asphalt, right now I'm sweeping and stuff, and then I'm going to clear it off with a shovel, and then I'm also going to spray the area down with a power washer as well. And while that's going on, I kind of wanted to take a little time to talk more about Rebuild the Forest and really my personal philosophy that drove me to be doing something like this. And a lot of Rebuild the Forest is kind of centers around my ideal that a pebble in the water makes a ripple effect. And it's this whole idea that a lot of people in society today are so worried about making waves with boulders that they don't even realize that something as small as a pebble still creates a ripple effect. It's the idea that you don't need to, in reality, and in reality, it's impossible for you to move that boulder and create a wave alone. And that the first thing you should be worried about is that pebble, that small thing that you can change in your day-to-day life that in turn can change the people you're around day to day that you interact with. One example I was kind of thinking about was smiling. In today's world, not too many people seem to smile and wave at each other as they pass by. More specifically, strangers don't seem to smile at each other as much, and we can wait around for that giant boulder to come along that causes everyone to smile, but the reality is that we can't. What we can do is choose for us to smile, and maybe first day no one smiles back, maybe the second day no one smiles back, maybe it takes a month before people start smiling back, but that smile creates another smile, which can create another smile, which can create another smile. That small pebble can create a ripple effect across everyone. And what you'll find is that when you come to the river and you start throwing those pebbles in the water, before you know it, other people will join you and start throwing pebbles, and now there's many ripples, not just the one being caused by you. And before you know it, there will be so many people at the river throwing pebbles and causing ripples that waves have now formed, and even further so many pebbles have been moved away from that boulder that it has now rolled into the river and caused a massive wave, only no one touched it. It just happened naturally. And so how does this, relate to Rebuild the Forest? Well, this is my pebble. This is my first community gathering space, for people to gather at for smiles. And the hope is that, kind of like the movie Field of Dreams, which is kind of ironic because we are based out of Iowa, is that if you build it, they will come. And that's kind of the plan with this, is that, we build the gathering space, and so in a sense my pebble is more so creating a river for people to throw more pebbles at. That's kind of my ripple effect that I'm intending to create. But it's the same thing, this is my way of creating a place for people to come and gather and to create more ripples across the community. I think that food is really a way that a thing that brings people together. Growing food, eating food, preparing food. And so by creating these gathering spaces that are not just places to grow food, but also places to come and cook and eat and enjoy life together, that you can create a lot of ripple effects just by, simply putting some mulch on top of some asphalt, because that's really all we did. We went to, in this video, we're clearing it off, but in the next couple of videos, you'll see all we do is put some weed mat down and then some mulch on top and create a gathering space for people to come, for us to cook, for us to gather. We're going to get some tables in there and stuff like that. And then I'm also going to put a couple of raised garden beds, but that's just this specific location. Like I said, in a perfect location, we wouldn't have any raised garden beds or anything like that. We would just be, rewilding the land. But that's just not the reality with this location. Each location is going to be a little bit different, but every single location is going to have the same goal in mind, and that is to rebuild the forest, which, like I said, doesn't just mean, rewilding blank area. It also means reclaiming some of these areas that are asphalt that were previously used for cars to be reclaimed as community gathering spaces, because the unfortunate reality is that we've given up a lot of spaces to cars, and we have fewer and fewer community gathering spaces, and it's just a sad reality. And so by, like I said, creating these places, this is just on a commercial plot, but we also want to hopefully do some on some public land. We want to try and reach out to different apartment complexes and stuff like that to hopefully build some garden areas for the people in the apartments to gather at. We really just want to do a lot of different things with using land that is either used for, overgrown asphalt like this, or using land that's just sitting there and overgrowing as places for the community to gather, or as places to grow the community food, because, like I said, food is what makes the world go around ultimately. We all need it, we all eat it, and when you really look at it, a lot of the biggest gatherings of people in the world are some form of food festival or the like, you know what I mean? Like, one of the first ones that come to mind for some reason is, Oktoberfest for me. It's a celebration of drinking and eating. All sorts of different types of fairs and stuff like that. It always has a food aspect to it. People are excited to go to the food trucks, or even, you look at different communities throwing all sorts of different food truck events, With this gathering space here, we could easily have a food truck pull up here and do a little food truck event as well. The possibilities are really endless. We want to do food truck events. We want to do little concerts. We would love to do like a wine garden fundraiser or something like that. Like I said, when you build a community gathering space, really the opportunities are limitless, and it doesn't even need to be fundraising things, days when you're not even having events, people can come and gather. Maybe we put some free Wi-Fi out here. Eventually I'd like to put like a free little library out there, but maybe it's not just a free little library. Maybe we build a whole shed that's full of books, and then right next to that shed we have a community fridge as well that's in a shed. Like I said, it's really just about, once you start with that one pebble, that more pebbles will come, and before you know it, you'll be moving boulders, or as a lot of people probably like to say in common terms, you can move mountains. It's really just that idea that when you get down to it and you gather together and you work together, that some really cool things are possible, and we can really, you know, all come together to start rebuilding the community together and get back to gathering together, to enjoying life together, to cooking together, and instead of living these lives where we just, you know, sit alone inside and watch the new Netflix series, we can live lives once again where we enjoy time together and we cook together, like I said, and we're growing food. Like I said, there's even an educational aspect. So many people have become so disconnected to the food that they eat because, you know, we just run to a store, we pick out whatever food we want. We have no idea where it came from. It's crazy. You look at some of these food items and it's like something that you can literally grow in your window is being shipped all the way from Mexico. Like, most people don't even realize you can just cut off green onions and then put the little roots into a little glass of water and they'll regrow, and then you have pretty much unlimited green onions instead of getting them sent all the way from Mexico. So, you know, just using this space as a place to educate on things like that, to yeah, like I said, bring us back closer to the earth. And I believe, like I said, a lot of this is about gathering spaces. I think the best gathering spaces are green spaces, you know. And now coming up here, I'm about to freeze the frame here for a second because it was actually really cool happening. You know, a lot of what I've been talking about is how food brings people together, and more specifically, food brings people from all sorts of different walks of life together. And so that was really, like I said, my point with this garden was to be a place to come and heal. And you'll see just kind of here on the left side of the frame, a couple of the little girls from the apartment next door came up and started talking to me, and her name's Zena, and I can't remember what the other two girls are, but she can't be more than like 10 years old. And she started telling me about how she's here from Afghanistan and how she's here because her house got destroyed and how much she misses her 10 friends that still live back in Afghanistan. And it was this really, really powerful conversation with, you know, like I said, someone that is ultimately like a 10-year-old, but it was also something really affirming to me because, like I said, my whole point of building this was so that it could be a place for us to all gather and heal together. And to have someone from such a wildly different walk of life just, you know, like I said, come out of nowhere while I'm literally in the middle of building it. I haven't even built it, and these people are already coming to gather at this place. And so I thought that was pretty cool. She's come back over a couple of other times and still talk to me. And so I think that's really cool. I want to, you know, invite her parents or something like that over once I have the area done and we're like grilling or something like that, because I think that'd be really cool. And it's like I said, there's a lot of kids over here at this apartment complex that have nowhere to play or anything like that. Maybe we put a sandbox here or something like that to give them some place, because like all they do is just kind of run around in the field by the apartments. They don't have a playground or anything there. Maybe we build a playground, I don't know. Might have some liability issues with that, but yeah, I thought it was really cool because, like I said, it really encapsulated all of what this is really about. And that really wraps up today's video. Enjoy this little time lapse here now that I took from on top of the car. That kind of shows a little bit of behind the scenes of me moving the camera around and stuff like that, but also just a nice little wrap up of everything that got done in this video. And I will see you in the next one. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and also have a great day.